This week on C Plus News Time, Amazon canceled a lot of its original programming recently. At least 10 of them are gone within this year alone. What's their end goal? Why, to be the new HBO. But every network is trying to be the new HBO. Maybe we can call Amazon an HBO composite. AMZ, AMAZ, AZN, whatever the case, crazy Jeff Bezos and the chief of Amazon Studios, Roy Price, are now honing in on the finest of shows. Gone are the niche period pieces about American socialites or traveling cooking shows with once famous Food Network stars. Entering are the spin-offs of shows they already have, like Transparent 2, I Gotta Go Back, and 2 Mississippi. Alexa, what time is it?
It's 8:56 p.m.
Wrong, bitch. It's news time.
It's C Plus News Time. Delivering to you the news you didn't know about, the news you didn't care about, and the news you didn't know you cared about. With host, Chad White. Now, here's that host, Chad White.
I've been searching for Carmen Sandiego for almost 25 years. Can someone please help me find that beautiful, milk-skinned, big-breasted... Did the chief get into my script again? Welcome back to C Plus News Time. I'm your host, Chad White. This is the comedy news you didn't know about for the week of September 11th, 2017. That was a podcast reference nobody will get. It's no secret that streaming is gunning for cable. For years, customers have been dropping the more expensive option in favor of internet-only services. While it's true for many of them, there aren't new episodes uploaded, or you can't watch everything at once, or contracts have one show or movie jump from one service you have to another you don't, paying under $40 a month for the top 3 streamers is still one of the better ways to ingest television. So what happens when streaming services decide it's time to rise above their aging counterparts? Netflix has been trying to attack many fronts, including the theatrical route, along with their stand against classic TV. I've done a story on the former, citing Netflix's disruption of the Cannes Film Festival in France this past May. But their TV approach is garnering almost the same amount of attention. Around this time last year, the network said they were set to release their 1,000th hour of television this year. Of course, they've already passed it at this point. Their weekly releases have exploded in a rapid manner. Stand-up specials every Tuesday, full season premieres of shows old and new on Fridays, crappy acquisitions of shows and movies that wouldn't have made it anywhere else but are somehow surviving because of the Netflix pre-roll before its opening credits, all helping Big Red slowly but surely buffer its way to 1,000+ hours of what they refer to as content. All of this is to say maybe that's not the best approach. Just because you can buy a Nintendo Switch doesn't mean you should. Actually, that's a bad analogy. If you can find one in the store, get it. You won't find one in real life for the rest of the year. I don't care what Nintendo says. So let's replace the Switch with cheeseburger. Now, you have the appetite for cheeseburger, but Doctor says you should probably eat salad. But cheeseburger looks so good. It's not healthy, yet your body craves it. Think of cheeseburger as Fuller House. Did Netflix really need it? Couldn't they have invested in a similar show to their only other great multicam, One Day at a Time? Why focus on a sequel series to an admittedly chintzy 90s show? For the immediate gratification, my dear boy. Or rather, the ratings. Hitting the nostalgia bone is a surefire way of attracting an audience. Just look at the novel Ready Player One, which is 86% nostalgia, 10% story, and 4% good. Amazon, one of Netflix's competitors, is not taking the Netflix approach. And don't worry, the online retail giant tried, like really tried, to do streaming that way. Instead, Amazon is opting for a more sophisticated method. Recently, Amazon Studios chief Roy Price was given a specific order from bajillionaire CEO crazy Jeff Bezos to find him the next hit series. The network is shifting focus away from what many would see as niche series, steering into broad hits. A report from Variety's Cynthia Littleton and Daniel Holloway equates the caliber of show Bezos is looking for to Game of Thrones. That's a hit in many ways because it's got book stuffs for the nerdses, tits for the bros, and hot man-on-man action for the rest of yous. In one foul swoop, Amazon Amazon canceled some of its high-profile shows like Z, The Beginning of Everything, and The Last Tycoon, with the former getting an initial second season order earlier this summer. At the same time, the studio gave the go sign to 5 new shows that Variety says aims to, quote, deliver sizzle in the water cooler environs of social media and can travel around the world. Yeah, Price's mission to find new shows is a vital one. They might already even have a blueprint to the tone they're trying to hit. In the write-up, Price said the recent Tick series, highly lauded Man in the High Castle, and BBC-esque The Grand Tour are the types of series they need to land. All 3 have what Littleton and Holloway refer to as global appeal. 2 shows about F. Scott Fitzgerald sure as heck did not fit that mold. Wait, The Last Tycoon was a book by Fitzgerald? Jeez, Amazon really likes his 20th century literature. I wonder what's on his wish list. Stupid joke. Anyway, here's where the new focus leaves the other new shows Amazon has already picked up. The double season order of The Marvelous Miss Maisel, John Krasinski's Jack Ryan, Matthew Weiner's The Romanoffs anthology series, and David O. Russell's crime show starring Robert De Niro and Julianne Moore will all probably see some sort of cut in production. That's just how development goes. But that sweet Thursday Night Football exclusivity deal is right up their alley for some reason. At least they got Robert Kirkman. Retaining viewers isn't the only issue Amazon Studios has had. The threat of management changes at the organization, reports of difficulty working with the studio, not hitting the pop culture bubble hard enough, and troubles with keeping showrunners are among the problems they're rumored to be facing right at this very second. Which explains why they denied my script I submitted to the studio. I totally get it. You want me to wait for next pilot season? I got you, Amazon. I'll be writing. This is a list of shows Amazon has canceled within the last few years. It's not terribly huge because they haven't had many shows, but the amount of shows gone in 2017 alone are astounding. Now this is Netflix's list of dead shows, which I'm sure is going to grow by a few more before December. And not to be deterred, Hulu joins the canceled TV party with just 2 of its handful of shows. Even with the axing of all of its high-profile shows, Amazon is not done yet. Price says the studio has a lot more in store for television, with announcements set to be made in the coming weeks. He knows television development is not an easy task, but someone's got to tell crazy Jeff Bezos that not every show is going to be Game of Thrones. That's an insane notion. It's moments like this I'm reminded of a saying from a robot named Big Weld.
See a need, fill a need.
Bezos and Price should keep that in mind. And that's all the news I have for you for this week on C Plus News Time. Why don't you subscribe and check out one of our other videos? Of course, you can always head to the website cpluscomedy.com, where we've got so many things that I will say it at a regular pace next time, I promise. You can follow us on Twitter at cpluscomedy, follow me on Twitter at ChadBlackWhite, like us on Facebook, listen to the Constitutionals podcast, please, and of course, always go to Amazon, add things to your wish list, and buy. Just fall into the trap.